Hi guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rifts. They're back with a Veigar commentary guide. And now, I don't normally do this, as in I don't normally make videos on the necessarily latest champions. If they are ADCs like Lucian and Senna, sometimes I do. But especially for the non-ADC champions, I don't normally do so. But right into the action, the Senna is out of position and we actually managed to blow her flash. So I did catch her trying to get a greedy ward onto our blue buff. So I did actually rotate and allowed my team to get the first blood. So regardless, this is my literal first match of Veigar, and of course we're playing it in normal, so I have a Veigar mirror match in the mid lane. So I was actually just doing this because, as you guys know, for the Veigar events, the last mission of the event, I think, is to get 50 or 100 stacks of Phenomenal Evil, which is his passive. So yeah. Now, Veigar really is very easy to play. Like, his skills are very basic. His first skill is just a skill shot that can hit something behind the target, sort of a little bit like a Misfortune Q. His W is literally what you just see there. You just it's an AoE ability that takes like about a second to actually drop down. So normally, if enemies are not CC'd, they can easily walk out of it. So that's something to take note of. His E is the cage that you guys probably have seen by now, which is his main zoning or crowd control tool. Two ways to use it. Number one is just to zone enemies away, like when they're ganking you or when you're just trying to trap somebody or in a dragon or herald fight. Or another way is to chain CC with someone else. So if an enemy is already stunned, you can actually just drop the cage right on top of their heads and they will be chain CC. His ult is literally just a point and click ability that just does scaling missing health damage. So it's basically for an execute, for a finisher kind of thing. So here in the early game, as you guys can see, at the moment I have 15 stacks of Phenomenal Evil. You of course get stacks by last hitting minions with your skills, getting like takedowns. So yeah. So for myself personally, I decide to take Barrier and Flash. You can also go for Ignite and Flash, but I think that Barrier is, I just prefer Barrier for the safety, basically. It's basically safety versus aggression. So yeah. And as you guys can see, I'm actually starting off with a tier and then building into the Luden's Echo. But the opposing Veigar is actually going straight into the Luden's Echo. So I will be completing Luden's Echo and then building my tier into a Sarah's Embrace. So here we both stun each other. He is a, I am a level up on him, I'm sorry. So the trade goes about even, but maybe I got a little bit better of a trade compared to him, but it's about even. So in the early stages of the game, you really don't do damage at all. So what you really want to do is focus on farming. Although, as you guys can see, I'm roaming to the top lane. Why am I doing this? If you guys can see, it's a Varus and a Senna. They have completely no mobility. So if I put them in my cage, they cannot escape unless they flash it. So here, my team doesn't really wait for me and they actually got Varus very low. So I flashed out him because I thought I could get the kill. Unfortunately, as you guys can see from your screen on the middle right hand side, he lives with a sliver of HP. So that's a little bit unfortunate. On the way down, I eat some fruit because I did take a tower shot. The Veigar tries to rotate to get some damage in on me, but I actually don't take any damage at all. So that's fine. I did miss like about half a wave though. So he will be ahead of me in terms of like gold and XP probably because I didn't actually get anything out of the roam. That's something you guys want to take note when playing mid. It's if you roam and you don't actually get anything out of it, your opponent will be ahead of you like so. Unless of course you've killed your opponent and then you roam, which wouldn't really have such an issue. So anyways, I'm still just trying to stack my Phenomenal Evil. Annie comes in with her Tiber's stun out of nowhere, and I wasn't really expecting it. I was kind of just focusing on getting my CS, so my map awareness really wasn't there. Mainly because I'm playing Veigar for the first time, so I don't really know his damage that well. So I'm really concentrating hard on just trying to hit my CS with my skills to stack up my passive. So I didn't really see her coming down there, which is of course my bad. Now another thing to discuss is I will be maxing out Q first, which is what everybody should do. But whether you max W or E second, it's personal preference. You max W second gives you more damage, but maxing E second gives you more utility. Because you can get your cage up more often, and when you do have it up, you actually have a longer stun. Now here, as you can see, as I was bumbling and stumbling over my words, I actually win a 1v1 against the enemy Veigar, which I have no right to do. Now, if you guys I can see I have a tier, a lost chapter, and a blasting one at the moment. The enemy Veigar has his full Luden's Echo in that fight. So me with 3 item parts versus him with 1 full item. And furthermore, I didn't actually manage to get anything from my roam, so he's ahead of me in gold and XP. But somehow I still come up on top in that fight. So I really have no idea what he's doing, because I shouldn't have any right of really winning that fight against him, because we are in a mirror match. So considering that I have less items than him, less gold and XP than him, should mean that he wins the fight. But somehow I managed to win the fight. I have no idea how. Like, honestly, I have no idea how. I mean, I would say that it's because I hit all my abilities and he must have not done so. And also I baited him with that barrier, so yeah. Now at this point, I have my Luden's Echo, I have my tier, and my tier is stacking relatively well. The enemy team does secure the dragon though, and while I was in the base, so a little bit of a bad rotation, but the fight is still ongoing, so I'm actually just running straight there. I flashed out the Rengar. Honestly, didn't really have to do that. I could have just flash Q'd him, and it would have got the kill anyways, but you know, I was already waiting to just flash R on one of them, so I just flashed R and it hit the Rengar, who was 1 HP anyway. Regardless, you know, 1 ult equals to 1 kill most of the time if you're playing Veigar correctly, so I did ult and get a kill there, so it's not the end of the world that I wasted my ult. Of course, I could have hung onto it, but you know, it doesn't happen, it's fine. You know, it's not a big deal. It's like 30 seconds away from coming up again, which of course is exploitable, but you know, we are still learning Veigar. This is our first match on Veigar, and we're doing relatively well. We're 2-0-1 at the moment, so we're doing pretty well. We come back to get the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. In my opinion, the only boots worth picking up out of all of them. You always go for the Lucidity boots into Zanya. Zanya's because you need the survivability, you have no mobility, and the only way you can save yourself is your cage, which may not always work. Now here, there is a party going on in the top lane. They're trying to go for a dive. Here I can see from the minimap that Veigar flashed into the enemy team, and he didn't get anything out of that. So here, I ult him for the kill. Another semi-wasted ult, considering that he was about to die anyways. But you know, we don't take any chances. We just ult them, get those kills, and yeah, end of the story. So Rengar escapes. Varus escapes as well. Everybody basically escapes. But here, I'm already here. I'm just gonna take the CS with my abilities to stack up my passive, of course. Then we're gonna go back to the mid lane. Of course, we have already taken the mid lane tower, which makes it a lot easier to roam. On the way down, collecting the fruit, especially for the gold. 60 gold from the Sweet Tooth is not anything to scoff at. I mean, 1 minion gives you like 65 gold, so that's about 1 minion's worth of XP, considering if you last hit. And of course, the melee minions give 40 only, so 60 gold is a pretty decent amount. It's about 1 minion's worth of gold, so we know we will take it. And here we are going to back and get another lost chapter. Of course, we're going to build towards the Seraph's Embrace, or rather the Archangel's Staff, which will evolve into the Seraph's Embrace. So anyways, regardless, my team across the board is doing well. We are 11-4, and we do have a 5k gold. Here I actually trap Tryndamere in the cage. He can't go anywhere. And I actually ult him, but he has his Undying Rage, so unfortunately I'm a little bit stuck. But his Undying Rage runs out, and I hit him with a Q just as he is trying to escape. Here Senna tries to ult me. I sidestep just a little bit, and I can just recall and get back all my health and mana, complete my Archangel Staff, and of course in the base, spamming the spells just to stack it up faster. I wouldn't really recommend spamming the spells on the way to the lane, unlike someone like an Ezreal or Varus, because Veigar is relatively mana hungry and you don't really want to run out of mana in the lane. So I don't really do that. Although he uses a lot of mana, but not like a ton like a Misfortune. So maybe it's still doable. Yeah, but I personally wouldn't do it. But yeah, I can see why some people would do it, I guess you could say. So here, my team can handle the Tryndamere themselves. I don't really need to go there. Here, I'm just going to try to zone Veigar off the minions. Not the most successful at that. Like here, my team goes in on the Veigar here. Here, I'm just trying to ult the Veigar, but I'm just out of range because his ult range is very, very small, in case you guys didn't know. You have to get in very close, up close and personal to actually hit your ult onto somebody. So here, Rengar, I'm just cutting off his escape. He chooses to go back, and I ult him. Unfortunately, the ult doesn't secure the kill. Instead, Yasuo gets the kill, unfortunately, so I don't get the massive shutdown, unfortunately, but I am doing very well. I'm 4-0 and 3 with 2 completed items. I was thinking of recalling, but Yasuo found himself in a pickle, trying to help him out if I can. But unfortunately, the Tryndamere still has his Undying Rage, so there's nothing much we can do about it. I even pop my... Oh, that's not my Baron. The Seraph's Embrace even pops. Just to save... I mean, save my life, I guess. The Lifeline passive coming through. So we're going to reset and see if we can pick up some items. Picking up the Zhonya's Hourglass. And yeah, that's about it. So next we're going to build towards Rabadon's Death Cap. Of course, Death Cap synergizes really well with our passive, because when we get all that bonus AP from our passive, of course 1 point is 1 AP, it will proc the Death Cap's passive, which will give even more AP there. And he just one-shot one-shot the Senna right there. So here we're going to get an easy secure onto the dragon. Varus ult into the pit. Impossible to walk away from, unfortunately. Here Tryndamere just dies. I ult him. No Undying Rage left for him anymore. And Rengar is in, trying to 1v9 solo carry the game for his team. Gets a kill. Gets another kill. And is going to escape with it, it seems. Actually tries to go for me for a 3rd kill, but he jumps straight into the cage. So... doesn't really work out too well for him, but yeah, Rengar is very fed. That Rengar is doing very well, and at this point we're over 100 stacks, stacking really well. In general, in a Veigar game in general, you should be reaching over 200 stacks in general, like just minions, farming minions, and of course takedowns itself. So you should be reaching quite a high amount of stacks in the majority of the games. Of course, if games go longer, you can get up to 300, 400 plus stacks, but games have to last really long for that to happen. Either that or you get so much kill participation that you charge up your passive really fast. But in general, I would say at least over 200 stacks is pretty good. And yeah, so here I just, of course, continuing to farm the stacks, farm the CS. It's really weird because after this game I played another Veigar game just to try him in the 80 carry role, and there was a Nasus on my team and we're both just trying to stack on the same minions, which is a little bit of anti-synergy there. So here we all go on the Tryndamere. Of course he has Undying Rage, so it isn't really going to work out. I tried to time when his Undying Rage ends, and I actually tried to ult when it was about to end, but I timed it about half a second too soon, so he did absorb the ult and didn't die because of his Undying Rage, and only after that the Yasuo auto got the kill on him, which is a little bit unfortunate. Kind of wasted my ult there yet again, but you know, we are still doing fine. We are doing fine. We're 5-0 and 5. A couple wasted ults here and there could have been avoided, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, just trying to secure the CS. There we go. And the Baron spawning soon. And we're actually, our team is in a relatively good position. We're about 8k gold ahead, so we can actually force the Baron if we do want to. Especially since we just found 2 picks. We're gonna set up the Rift Herald here, and I'm caging the Tryndamere in. Tryndamere can't go anywhere, tries to spin out of the way, doesn't really work out. And we're gonna see if we can get in any poke on them. Of course, really hard to land the Veigar poke. His range is not the longest. I get another cage there into the Vein Condemn. Tryndamere can't even press his ult even if he wanted to, but I do believe it might have been on cooldown. I'm not too sure. Either way, he got stunned and stunned again, so he cannot actually use his ult. Here I just put the cage behind the tower to prevent anybody from coming anywhere near, and we secure the inhibitor. Now I'm headed to mid to pick up that couple of CS. Boom, like so. Yasuo actually steals 2 of them from me, 2 less stacks from me, unfortunately. I try to get even more CS. Get 2 of them, Yasuo steals another 2, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Going back and getting a couple of needlessly large rods. There we go, 2 needlessly large rods. Of course, we're getting pretty close to the death cap. About 400 gold away, I would say. Yeah, 400 gold away from the death cap. So we're still doing really well, 5-0 and 7. No deaths as of yet. We are at 140 stacks of Phenomenal Evil, so that's more than a death cap's worth of AP, so that's a ton of AP. So here we get the stun, the Varus, boom, full combo, one shot. Had to do that at least once in the video, full combo, one shot. They walk into the wall, you W where they are because they're stunned, impossible to dodge. You Q and you ult and they are gone. So that's 100-0 on the Varus just from the Veigar damage. And that allows me to get enough gold to complete my death cap. So things are looking golden for us at the moment. 6, 0, and 7 with the Sarah's Embrace, the Luden's Echo, and the Death Cat completed. Now I will say that I've only played 2 games on Veigar so far. I used the same build for both of the games, but I'm not too sure if having like a Rod of Ages might be a good option. Like I've heard that Rod of Ages as a first item is also an option instead of going for the Luden's Echo. So there are a couple of options. Basically, for your first 2 items, you can choose between Rod of Ages, Luden's Echo, and as well as the Sarah's Embrace. So sometimes you go for like Rod of Ages into Sarah's Embrace, sometimes you go Luden's into Seraph's, and sometimes you just go Rod of Ages into Luden's without the Seraph's. So there are a lot of options for Veigar's first 2 items. I don't know which is the best, and I don't know what to recommend, because as I said, I only tested one, so I don't really have the knowledge or like the play testing to really say which is the best first 2 items for Veigar. But I will say that I do enjoy this build. Like the combo of the Sarah's Embrace and Luden's Echo gives you a lot of ability haste especially, and AP at the start, as well as giving you that lifeline passive, which is useful as well. So here Tryndamere once again is on our case, but we do manage to kill him and we become godlike. Here of course there is a fight going on still. I put up the cage, but nothing too much happens. I managed to ult the Veigar for the double kill, and Rengar comes out of nowhere and assassinates me before I can even press my Zanya's Hourglass. So Rengar really carrying his team, gets a double kill. Annie flashes into the bush. I thought that was pretty questionable, but Annie's so fat. Rengar having trouble against Tibbers, and yeah, and Rengar escapes with a sliver of health against the Tibbers. So yeah, that's Annie really doing very well as well. Just look at her score. She's 9, 0, and 11. She's playing support Annie, and she has heal, and she's carrying our team as well. So yeah, our whole team just doing well. We're more than 10k gold ahead of the enemy team right now. This is turning into somewhat of a stomp. But yeah, the enemy Veigar not really having the time of his life. Meanwhile, I am. So obviously I'm the superior Veigar. That was kind of a joke, but it kind of is sort of the case as well. But here, Wukong very overextended, considering there isn't really any objective to take. Like you can't be possibly going for that mid inhibitor, so no idea what he is doing there. But he gets his GA destroyed by Tryndamere, and he comes in, salvages the situation by one-shotting the Veigar. And I'm coming in with my cage, and I make sure I make no mistake here. I ult the Rengar for the huge shutdown. Right, so now I'm actually building towards the Oblivion Orb. Now, actually, you should be going for a Void Staff here, but I'm against a full squishy team. They have no tanks on the team. Tryndamere is not building tank either. No one is building tank on the enemy team, so there's no real use for a Void Staff. Instead, I'm just going for the Oblivion Orb just for the flat magic penetration. But it doesn't really matter because the enemy team surrenders. So, easy, simple first win on the Veigar. So, we definitely weren't the ones that were necessarily carrying our team, like, because our whole team was doing well. So really, the whole team contributed, except possibly like the Yasuo. Yasuo wasn't doing too hot, but the rest of our team was really doing well. Just look at all those KDAs. But regardless, I'll leave you guys with the stats. So thank you guys for watching the video, and goodbye.